Hello dear students, once again welcome to LPM 6.2. So in last lecture we have learned about the reproductive system of both male and female of adult chicken. So now today we will learn about the formation of egg. So it will be somewhat easier. So first again quickly we will see the reproductive system in case of female or we can say hen. So here you can see there will be first of all this is the ovary cluster of you can clearly see the cluster of yolks. Then this is the infundibulum. Here there will be magnum. Here there will be isthmus. Here it is the uterus or also called the cell gland. And here there will be vagina and this is the cloaca. So here you can easily see that the yolk will be formed in the ovary. After it gets mature, it will be goes inside the infundibulum where it will reach the magnum. Here, there will be deposition of albumin surrounding the yolk. Then, there will be formation of two cell membranes in the isthmus. Then, when it will reach the cell gland, here it will remain for around 18 to 22 hours and there will be formation of egg shell, the outer covering of egg, and then it will be voided to the cloaca or we can say vent. So, actually, it will take around 28 to 30 hours for an hen to produce the egg. So once the egg is produced after 28 to 30 hours, second eggs will be produced. So a hen requires about 24 to 26 or up to 30 hours to produce an egg. After the egg is laid, the hen start all over again about 30 minutes later. So once the egg is laid, there will be rest for 30 minutes and after that again there will be yolk will be from the ovary, it will enter the oviduct and there will be again the formation of egg will start. The hen reproductive system we have already learned they consist of mainly ovary and oviduct. Ovary in which the yolk will be there and the oviduct or oviduct consists of five parts. First one infundibulum, then magnum, then isthmus, then uterus, which is also called as cell gland, and last one is vagina. So before going for our main topic, first we have to learn about the parts of egg. In chicken egg, which are the main parts. So first one, we all know that it is yolk, the yellowish color mass, which is present in the middle of the egg, which is produced in the ovary. This is the most obvious part of egg contains the yellow part. It is nearer to the center and it consists about 34% of total egg. Then surrounding the yolk, there will be white color mass will be there. So they are called as albumin. So this is the clear part we call the egg white. Albumin also called as egg white. It will be surrounding the yolk. It's called this because it turns white when it is cooked. Whenever the egg is either boiled, specially, the albumin will be whitish in color or it will turn in white in color. So it is called as white albumin or egg white. So there are two layers of albumins are there. Actually, there are four layers, two parts, thick and thin. There will be thick albumin surrounding the yolk and also thin albumin. There will be four layers, two of each. One, the inner thick, also known as chelysa. Then there is inner thin albumin. Then there will be outer thick albumin, and then there will be outer thin albumin. Chelysa. Chelysa it is actually a part of inner thick albumin. It is located in thick albumin. Chelysa is simply albumin itself. It is twisted lightly. So whenever the egg enters the infundibulum or magnum, there will be in the magnum there will be secretion of this albumin, and at the same time there will be turning of egg. And because of this turning, the albumin surrounding the egg, it will form chelaza or cord-like structure. So it is called as chelaza. It is also called as inner thick albumin. It keeps the yolk in the middle of the egg and prevents it from sticking to the inside the cell. Then comes the cell membrane. So first of all, there will be yolk. Surrounding the yolk, there will be 4 layers of albumin, and surrounding this all, there will be two cell membranes, inner and outer cell membrane. The egg contents are surrounded by two thin membranes called as inner and outer cell membranes. Cell plus cell membranes consist of 11% of total egg. And surrounding this all, first one in the middle, there will be yolk. Surrounding the yolk, there will be 4 layers of albumin. Surrounding the albumin, there will be 2 layers of cell membrane. And surrounding the cell membrane, there will be egg shell. We also can say that it is the outer covering of egg. So it is egg shell. So in this picture, you can clearly see all the parts. So this part, it is the yolk. Here you can see the light and dark yellow colorish stripes are there. This is because of the pigmentation. Then surrounding the yolk, this is the layer of chelaza. This is called as chelaza. It will be on the both sides. So this chelaza also, it is called as inner thick albumin. Then surrounding this inner thick albumin, here you can say this. So this is the inner layer of thin albumin. Then another layer of thick albumin, it is called as outer thick albumin. Also it is called as fibrous layer. And surrounding that another layer, this layer, it is called as outer thin. So first one, here there will be egg yolk. This is the germinal disc, also called as blastoderm. So surrounding the yolk, there will be 4 layers of albumin. First layer, it will form the chelaza. It is called as inner thick albumin. Then surrounding inner thick, it is the inner thin albumin. Then this is outer thick albumin, and here it is outer thin albumin. So generally the composition wise, all these 4 layers have same composition, but due to the addition of water in some part of the albumin, it will remain thin while other will remain thick. So remember, surrounding the yolk, there will be 4 layers of albumin: inner thick, inner thin, then outer thick, and outer thin. Then surrounding all these layers of albumin, there will be two cell membranes. Here you can see these are the cell membranes, inner and outer. And this is the outermost part, it is the egg shell. This black lining, you can see it is the egg shell. Here you can see the space, it is called as air space, or we can say air sac. It will be empty and filled with the air only. So in this picture also, you can clearly see that this is the yolk, this is the chelaza, and these are the other layers of albumin. So now we will start with the formation of egg. So now it is, we can say simply a common sense that first there will be formation of egg yolk, then there will be formation of albumin surrounding the yolk, then there will be formation of cell membrane, and lastly there will be formation of egg shell. So first we will start with the yolk formation. Also in case of bird, the ovum, it is also called as ovum, by which is produced by the ovary itself. So formation of egg inside the hen start with the yolk formation. The hen, unlike most mammals, have only one functional ovary, left one. We have already discussed in reproductive system chapter that in case of chicken, there will be only one functional ovary and oviduct. It is left one. The ovarian tissue appears as a cluster of tiny ova or yolks. At the time of hatching or when the hen get mature, an ovary consists of around 900 to 4,000 ovum, or we can say yolks, tiny ova, from some of which full-size yolk will be developed in the follicle when the hen will get mature. During the early stage of yolk formation, the oocyte grow very slowly by gradual accumulation of the light yolk. The yolk is enclosed in a thin membrane. It is called as vitelline membrane because we all know that the yolk cannot be suspended such way in the body. So the yolk is surrounded by a thick membrane which is called as vitelline membrane. And the yolk and its vitelline membrane are again closed in a second one vascular coat of connective tissue. It is called as follicle. So follicle we have already learned in the reproductive system also. So how the yolk is made or from which nutrients yolk is made, that first one, the nutrients required for the yolk formation, they are produced in the liver. Then they will be transported to the ovary by blood circulation and there will be yolk formation. Now each yolk grows very slowly for 10 days. After which it is ready to leave the ovary. When a diameter of about 6 mm is reached, a few ova start to grow very rapidly. Then there will be addition of 4 mm to their diameter at 24 every 24 hours until full size of 25 to 40 mm is reached. It is during the period of rapid growth that concentrate layers of light and dark yolks are formed. The thickness of each layer of light and dark layer represents the growth in 24 hours. Each layer will have 1.5 to 2 mm diameter. The visible white and yellow bands result from periodic deposition of different amount of carotenoids or pigment. The size of yolk influences the size of finished egg. So if the yolk size is higher, there will be higher egg size or egg weight. So here you can clearly see. So this is the ovary of an chicken. So here you can see there are the clusters of yolks are there, but gradually there will be development such as like this. This is we can say fully mature. So it will be ruptured. This follicle will rupture and inside whatever yolk is there, it will be released. Then on the next day, this will be fully mature and this will rupture. Then after that, then this, then this. So every 30 hours, 28 to 30 hours, one yolk will be matured. It will be free from the follicle of the ovary and it will go inside the oviduct and there will be started the procedure of making an egg. So once the yolk have fully matured or it have reached to its adult size of 40 mm or 25 mm to 40 mm diameter, now it is ready for leaving the follicle or we can say ovary and go inside the oviduct. So second step is ovulation. When the yolk has reached the maturity, the follicle ruptures along a definite line. It is called as stigma, where there are normally no blood vessel is there. In most instances, the ovum or we can say yolk probably is discharged into the body cavity and later engulfed by the funnel of the oviduct called as infundibulum through repeated movement of edge of infundibulum over the surface of ovum. Once the yolk is completely enclosed by the infundibulum, it is transported to the oviduct. So as I said, whenever the yolk will get mature surrounding the yolk or in its vitelline membrane, there will be follicle. This follicle will rupture and by rupturing the follicle, the yolk will be freed. And whenever it will comes out from the follicle, it will captured by the infundibulum of the oviduct, and then it will go further inside the reproductive tract. So here again in this slide you can clearly see that this is the mature one. So particular this part, also in this part, you can find all over the follicle there are blood. These red color blood vessels are there, but in this part there is not any type of blood vessel. So this is called a stigma. So whenever the yolk will get mature from this place or from this part, or we can say from this stigma, the stigma will rupture, and whatever the yolk is inside this follicle, it will be come out and it will go inside the infundibulum. So as I said, whenever the yolk will get mature from the stigma, the follicle will rupture and it will go inside the infundibulum. But if the yolk fails to get back into the oviduct or infundibulum, the layer it is called as internal layer. So sometimes what happens whenever the ovulation occurs and the yolk releases from the ovary, or we can say follicle, uh, unless going into the oviduct, it will drop inside the body cavity. जो योग रिलीज होगा वो कई कई दफा क्या होता है कि वो इन्फंडिबुलम में नहीं जाता, लेकिन वो बॉडी कैविटी में रह जाता है. So this type of birds, they are called as internal layer. In this case, the yolk may rupture and the liquid is reabsorbed into the circulation, leaving the abnormal deposit of yellow solid or yolk may dry up and leaving the mass of cake egg yolk material in the body cavity. So ऐसी सिचुएशन में क्या होता है, अगर योग ओविडक्ट में नहीं जाता और बॉडी कैविटी में कहीं पे रह जाता है तो क्या होगा, द योग विल बी रप्चर्ड एंड उसका जो भी लिक्विड होगा इट विल बी रीएब्सॉर्ब इनसाइड द बॉडी, और द yolk may dry up, leaving masses of cake egg yolk material in the body cavity. So once the yolk gets mature, it is ovulated, the yolk gets free from the ovary, and suppose now it has goes inside the infundibulum. So if at this time you have gone for mating of the particular hen either by AI method or natural method, then the fertilization will occur. So fertilization usually takes place shortly after ovulation in the funnel or of oviduct. So remember this. This may be asked, okay, at which place the fertilization occurs. So fertilization occurs in the infundibulum. So whenever the yolk is released, it goes inside the infundibulum. So at the same time, if the sperms are present in the infundibulum, there will be fertilization occur. The sperm cells have enough time to move to the funnel. So regarding the what is the main peculiarity of the semen, or we can say sperm of the cock, is that the sperm will remain in the oviduct for 2 to 3 weeks after mating. So once you have mated the bird either by AI or we can say by natural method for around 2 weeks, it will give fertile eggs. There will be for 2 weeks, there will be no need for any type of we can say mating. But the newest sperm is the one most likely to fertilize the egg. It is possible to fertilize egg within 24 hours after mating. Since the sperm must penetrate the vitelline membrane. So we have already learned that yolk is surrounded by the vitelline membrane. So sperm must penetrate this vitelline membrane to reach the blast disc, or we can say germinal disc of the yolk. And then there will be development of cheek or embryo will occur. The vitelline membrane of freshly ovulated yolk, it will be only 4 mm thickness. So it will be easy for sperm to penetrate. But after short time in the oviduct, this membrane becomes thickened around 48 microns. So it will be difficult for sperm to penetrate it. So it is advised that once the hen is mated for 2 weeks, there is no need for any type of we can say mating. So if there is successful fertilization is there, there will be embryo development. The fertilized ovum starts cell division and embryo development soon after the fertilization. So once the sperm enters through vital membrane and reaches to germinal disc of the yolk, there will be starting of the cell division and embryo development. It continues during the period of 24 hours when the egg remains in the oviduct. So whenever it will take 24 hours for an formation of egg, then it will be voided. We all know that fertile egg will take 21 days for incubation. It means once the egg is laid by a hen, and if it is fertile, after 21 days, there will be birth of the chick. The germ spot or blastoderm increase in size, and there is some change in the consistency of the white albumin as well as in the yolk. Unless the fertile egg is held below 82 degree Fahrenheit after it is laid, there will be further germ development. It is therefore desirable to produce fertile egg at all times except when they are not needed for hatching. So generally, it is also advised that generally whenever you only want to have fertile eggs, then and then the hen is mated. Otherwise, it will produce non-fertile eggs. The egg production will be there at every 28 to 30 hours inside the hen. But if the hen is mated either by natural or AI method, then the egg will be fertile one and there will be embryo development. And if they are not mated, then egg development will be there, egg production will be there, but that egg are non-fertile. It means in which there will be not any type of embryo development and they are used for human consumption. So till now we have seen that once the yolk is get matured from stigma, it will be ruptured and it will go in the infundibulum where fertilization occurs only if the mating is done. So after infundibulum, now the egg will go into the magnum part. This is the part where there will be secretion of thick white or we can say white albumin surrounding the eggs. Immediately upon being grasped by mouth of the oviduct, the ovum is forced through the oviduct by ciliary action or by peristatic movement of the wall of oviduct to magnum region. So there will be continuous movement of the muscle of the oviduct so that the developing egg or we can say yolk will go further ahead in the oviduct. So after infundibulum, quickly it will go to the magnum where there will be secretion of thick white, also it is called as white albumin. It requires about 3 hours to pass through this region. The inner surface of magnum of oviduct is lined with goblet cell that will secrete the albumin. So the developed yolk or we can say the yolk will remain inside the magnum part for around 3 hours and there will be secretion of this thick albumin by the goblet cell present in the magnum region. So it will surround the whitish color, yellowish color yolk. So here you can see this is the yolk. So this is the yolk. Yolk is already formed inside the ovary. Then it will goes to the infundibulum, and after infundibulum, it will goes to the magnum. So in this magnum part, there will be secretion of this surrounding the yolk. It is white albumin. So in this magnum region, yolk acquires the mass of firm white albumin, which make up about one half of the total white by volume. Hence, that lay eggs containing a relatively high percentage of thick white have more goblet cell in the magnum region. The thick white percentage tends to decrease from about April to July in most crops. So, in the birds which have longer magnum or have higher goblet cell in the magnum region, it will in the egg of that particular hen you will find higher amount of this thick albumin. Then after albumin, there will be formation of egg cell membrane. The yolk surrounded by its thick white passes from magnum to a short section of oviduct known as the isthmus. So in the ovary, there will be development of yolk. After maturation, yolk will come in the oviduct. First one in the infundibulum, then it goes to the magnum, where there will be formation of thick white, or we can say white albumin. Then it goes to the isthmus part, where there will be development of egg cell membrane. So in the isthmus, two cell membranes, inner and outer cell membranes, are added and the shape of egg is determined. The oval shape of the egg is determined by these two cell membranes. An isthmus of larger diameter tends to result in thick round eggs, while smaller diameter tends to result in long and slender eggs. So here there will be production of cell membrane. So if the isthmus is larger in diameter, the egg also will be somewhat rounder in shape. And if the diameter of isthmus is smaller, then the eggs will be longer and slender shape. These membranes are so formed that it encloses the yolk in the thick white loosely. They don't plump out until the whole yolk receives final quota of white in uterus. So we have learned that in the albumin surrounding the yolk, there are four layers: inner thick albumin, inner thin albumin, outer thick albumin, and outer thin albumin. So here the first two layers, inner thick and inner thin and inner thick albumin, they are produced in the magnum region, and the remaining albumin will comes from the uterus, or we can say from the cell gland. So the membranes, inner and outer cell membranes, are so formed that it encloses the yolk and thick albumin loosely. They don't pump out until the egg receives its final quota of white in the uterus. Then it is the last part. It is the addition of thin white and cell. The developing egg passes from isthmus to the uterus. It is also called as cell gland, where it remains for about 20 hours, 21 hours. So this is the region of oviduct where the developing egg remains for the longest time. It will remain for here about 21 hours. The inner layer of thin white between the inner thick chelaza and outer layer of thick white becomes apparent while the egg is in uterus as the result of albumin rotating around the yolk. Due to addition of water, mineral solution consists largely of three elements: sodium, calcium, and potassium. So here you can see that in the magnum region there was secretion of thick albumin which surround the yolk. In the uterus, also there will be secretion of some part of albumin, and due to the addition of water, some part or two layers of this albumin becomes thinner. So as I said earlier, generally all these four layers, thick albumin, thin albumin, outer and inner, this all these four layers are in composition, they are same, but due to addition of water, two layers become thin and two layers become thick albumin. The inner and outer layers of thin white consist of 20 to 25% of total white, and the remaining 75% it is consist by the thick white. So thin white or thin white albumin consists 20 to 25%, and thick white consists of around 70 to 75%. In addition to the formation of inner and outer layer of thin white, the uterine glands also secrete the material for cell, consisting largely of calcium carbonate. So in the uterus, where the developing egg remains for 21 hours, there will be secretion or formation of thin white surrounding the yolk, and also there will be development of egg shell, the outer covering of egg. Generally, this egg cell is mostly made by the calcium carbonate. So this calcium carbonate is carried to the uterus by blood circulation. The calcium level in the blood nearly double at the laying stage. High temperature always tends to reduce the cell thickness. So this is the reason why when we will see the nutrient composition of the feed of different type of birds. In the layer bird, we kept around 3 to 5% calcium, while in broiler, there is only 1 to 2% calcium in the feed is there. But in case of layer, we will keep 3 to 5% calcium. So here now we will quickly see that in the ovary, the yolk formation will be there. Here you can see the dark and light layers of the yolk. So surrounding the yolk, these are the four membranes. This one is inner thick, this is inner thin, this is outer thick, and this is outer thin. So again, I am saying all these layers, it is called as albumin. The albumin is composition wise same, but in the uterus there will be addition of water. So because of this, these two layers they become watery or thin. So they are called as inner and outer thin albumin layers, while this will remain thick. So these are called as inner and outer thick albumin layer. So inner thick albumin layer, it will also form the chelagen. So surrounding this all, these are the two cell membranes, and surrounding this is the black color lining. This is the egg cell. So till now we have seen the complete process of formation of egg, how the yolk is formed, then how the albumin, thick albumin is surrounding the yolk, how the thick albumin to half 25% become thin, and how the development of cell membrane and the outer cell occurs. Now only if the mating is done of hen, then and then there will be fertilization and embryo development. Otherwise, the procedure of egg formation will remain same in layers, also which are kept for production of infertile eggs for human consumption. So as I said, if the mating is there, then whatever the egg is produced, they will be fertile, and after 21 days, there will be production of chick. But if the mating is not done, even then there will be production of egg, but these egg will be non-fertile and they are used for human consumption. So generally a hen will give egg continuously for 4 to 5 days. After that there will be rest period of 1 to 2 days, and again this cycle will be repeated. Number of egg given by a hen continuously without rest, it is called as clutch. So remain this definition, what is clutch? So what is clutch? Clutch means generally when the hen will start giving eggs, generally it will give eggs for around 3 to 4 days continuously, each egg in 1 day. So continuously for 5 days it will give eggs. After that for 2 days it will not give eggs. It is called as rest period. And again after that again it will start producing the egg for 5 to 6 days. Again there will be rest day for one. So clutch size means it is the number of eggs produced by a hen continuously. Suppose one hen has produced 5 eggs for five consecutive days. So the clutch size it is called as 5. So after 5 days there will be rest period of either 1 to 2 days, and again there will be starting of egg producing. So it is called as clutch size. A laying hen can produce eggs for a number of years, but it is not economical to keep the layers for age up to 18 months or 72 weeks. So we all know that a hen will start producing the eggs from 22 weeks, and generally they are kept only up to 72 weeks. Why? Because the egg production starts at age of 22 weeks. It is rise sharply, reaching peak at about 32 to 35 weeks, and gradually it will decline in the rate of 0.5% in the week. It means at the 22 weeks, it will start giving 2 eggs or 3 eggs per week. Then there will be increase in the number of eggs per week for around 30 to 35 weeks. When it reaches the peak, generally 6 eggs in 1 week, we called as the peak. And after that, there is decline in the egg production rate by 0.5% per week. Thus, whenever it reaches to 72 weeks, it will give only 2 to 3 eggs per week. So it is not economical. So egg production can be divided into 3 phases. First one, starting from 22 weeks to 42 weeks. Here the egg weight increase from 36 gram to 58 grams. Then second phase, 43rd week to 62 weeks. Egg production declines to 65%. And after that, 62nd to 72 week, egg production is less than 65%. So in this first phase, 22 to 42 weeks, the egg production will be around 80 to 90%. Then from 43rd to 62, gradually from 90%, it reaches to 65% only. And between 62 to 72 weeks, it is less than 65. And after 72 weeks, there will be another decrease in the egg production. So it is not economical to keep the layer bird for egg production for more than 72 weeks, or we can say 18 months. So just you can also remember this one table, and you can remember whole egg yolk formation. First one, these are the section of reproductive system. First one, ovary. So here there will be yolk formation in the follicle. So then after yolk get mature, it the stigma, from the stigma it will be freed and it will goes into the funnel shape infundibulum. Here in infundibulum, it will remain for only 15 minutes. Receive yolk from the ovary, it live from present, the fertilization will occur here. So after infundibulum, it goes to the magnum, where it remains for 3 hours. Albumin is secreted and it is layered around the yolk. Then after magnum, it goes to the isthmus. Here it will remain for 1 hour. Inner and outer cell membranes are added, and some water and mineral salt are also added. Then the egg goes to the scale gland, or also it is called as uterus. Here it remains for almost 21 hours, the longest period. Initially, as I said, some water is added, making the inner and outer albumin thin. Then the cell material, mainly calcium carbonate, is added. Pigment may also be added to make cell brown in some breed. And then whenever the egg is fully formed, it will goes to the vagina and cloaca. Well, it remains only less than 1 minute. Till now, the egg is formed with its narrow end towards the vagina. But here, the egg is turned and the egg is deposited with its broader end will come first. Secretion of cuticle for easy deposition. So, whatever the egg formation we have seen from ovary to cell gland, the formation will be like that on the cloaca side or vent side, there will be narrower end and the broader end will be on the other side. But in the vagina, the egg is turned so that the broader end will come first out of the cloaca or vent. Also in the vagina, there will be secretion of cuticle. The cuticle is nothing but it is one type of fluid secretion. Because of this, the egg deposition from the vagina, or we can say cloaca, it will be easier. So now you can see by this video the complete procedure of egg cell formation.
This presentation is brought to you by Auburn University Department of
Egg yolk are converted into the building blocks of egg yolk. These building blocks, 1/3 protein, 1/3 fat, and 1/3 water, are then carried by the bloodstream from the liver to the ovary. In the ovary, tiny tissue bags called follicles fill with yolk and grow. The largest follicle on the ovary will release the yolk of the egg the hen will lay tomorrow, while the next largest will produce the next day's yolk, and the next largest will yield the next day's yolk, and so on. In 1 to 2 weeks, a follicle grows from less than 1 millimeter in diameter to the mature size of 25 millimeters. When a yolk matures, the follicle ruptures along a line relatively free from blood vessels, the stigma, and the yolk is released. If any blood vessels cross the stigma, a drop of blood may spot the yolk as it is released from the follicle. Called the infundibulum, the funnel-shaped upper end of the oviduct envelops the ovary and catches the most mature follicle as it reaches maturation and ovulates. Then the yolk embarks on a 24-hour journey down the oviduct. When the yolk emerges from the follicle and moves into the upper part of the infundibulum, it's the only time in its progress when it is not covered by a layer of albumin. Fertilization, if it is to occur, will take place here. Some bacterial pathogens, such as Salmonella enteritidis, are able to colonize the reproductive tracts of infected hens. If these bacteria become associated with the developing egg as it passes along the tract, and before it is surrounded by a shell, they can cause disease in a human consumer of the contaminated yolk or albumin. The yolk spends about 15 minutes in the infundibulum before it passes into the magnum. In the magnum, over a period of about 3 hours, it will be covered by a dense, shock-absorbing layer of albumin, or egg white. As the albumin forms around the yolk, spiral ridges, which run the length of the magnum, cause the yolk to spin like a bullet in a rifle barrel. This spinning twists the protein fibers in the albumin, just in front of and just behind the yolk, and makes two pigtail-like structures called the chalaza. The chalaza keep the yolk suspended in the center of the albumin, and ultimately prevent it from moving around inside the egg. The magnum gives way to the next section of the oviduct, the isthmus. Here, the shell membranes are deposited. These thin layers of protein wrap loosely around the albumin covering the yolk. It is as though the yolk and its layer of albumin are a blob of jello, wrapped with 2 sheets of cellophane. The process does not result in a smooth egg-shaped structure. In fact, an egg leaving the isthmus probably looks more like a prune than a plum. The partially formed egg then enters the shell gland. Here, over the next 20 hours, the shell will form. First, a thin albumin is secreted. This thin albumin is mostly water, and it moves by osmosis through the 2 shell membranes into the highly concentrated thick albumin surrounding the yolk. This plumps the egg into a normal shape and stretches the shell membranes tight around it. Next, A highly concentrated solution of calcium carbonate is secreted by the shell gland, and crystals of calcite form and grow on the outer shell membrane. As the crystals expand, they grow into one another to form a solid shell. Very tiny spaces left in between the crystals leave pores in the shell. Lastly, a special protein solution, called the cuticle, is deposited onto the eggshell. Gas can pass through the proteinaceous cuticle and through the pores in the shell, but the two layers protect the egg from harmful bacteria. Finally, a process called oviposition, the egg flips end over end. This occurs through contractions of the uterus, synchronized with relaxation of the muscular vagina, and pushes the egg out of the hen's body. An important part of the egg does not form until after it is laid. When an egg is laid, it fills the shell. However, a hen's body temperature is 106 degrees Fahrenheit, and eggs are generally laid into environments that are 20 to 40 degrees cooler. As the egg cools, the inner portion contracts and forms an air cell between the two shell membranes. A chick would puncture and breathe through the air in this cell before hatching. The fully formed egg now begins another journey. If it has been fertilized, it will go to a hatchery. If not, it will go to one of two places: an egg processing and packaging plant for distribution to grocery stores, or to an egg breaking plant, where once processed, the egg will be included in one of countless food products, such as mayonnaise, cake mixes, or salad dressing.
So the video we have seen, if you find difficulty in this particular video to see, the original link of the videos are already sent, so you can see from the YouTube also. So in this slide also, you can clearly see the whole process of egg formation starting from ovary to the cloaca, how much time it will take at every region also. So thank you, student, and if you find any query, you can ask at any time.